That
Yep.
doesn't surprise me.
All right, it's 6:30 on the wall, so I'm going to call the May 20th DBA meeting for the town of Washington to order. We've got a quorum. Two matters on the agenda. One is to review the minutes from the April meeting. We just got those this afternoon. I think what I'd like to do is give everybody an opportunity to review those, and we'll discuss those the next meeting. So we'll carry the minutes for the April 15th meeting over to the June meeting. The next item on the agenda is Valley Farm Doodletown LLC and Brian Schwartz, 322 Valley Farm Road. The applicant, Jacob Angel of Holston Construction, on behalf of the property owner, has applied for 2 variances to install a new garage with an office. Anybody here for the applicant?
Yes.
Why don't you come on up at the table? Let us know who you are and
Yes.
explain what you're doing.
Okay. So Jacob Angel, like you said, with Halton Construction, we have been tasked with trying to erect a garage for the applicant.
Mhm.
I know that one of the questions that was brought up by your consultant was kind of regarding the home occupation. And the intent of the use of the office space is really very limited to more of kind of like a, there's no clients coming there or any real business being run out of there. Just basically,
What do they do there?
it'll be like it's their second home.
Mhm.
So they just, work from home, Zoom type meetings, that type of a thing. So it's not like a business that's being run out of the space. So I think even the language of it being titled as an office space could even be, it doesn't necessarily have to be.
What type of business is he in? Do you know?
He's an attorney.
Oh, okay.
So there's no intent for the building to be used for clients to be coming by or its own personal use.
Okay. All right. Tell us a little bit about the structure you want to put on the property.
Sure. So do you have any the elevations or no? You saw them. So the goal is to kind of try to blend it into the house. It is a tighter lot. This is kind of all taking up space, and this is kind of close to the road, and there's quite a bit of planting along here. So really, in reality, it's pretty limited on where the building can go.
Mhm.
So this is the location.
What is this here on your drawing, the circle?
I think that's a trampoline. I think it's a
This is the pool area,
I
right?
think it's trampoline.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, I think I read, is the shed going to be taken
It
down?
is. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's going to be taken down. The elevation of the garage looks very similar to the house. I believe you have pictures of the house.
That I didn't see, but if you got one, that would be helpful. Yeah, have you seen this map?
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, you want to look at it?
I looked at it online.
Okay. This is the new structure you want to put up.
Yes.
2-car garage. There's no bathroom in this building.
I believe in the upstairs there is.
There is. I didn't see that on the floor plan.
Storage. It's storage. Right above.
It's not storage.
Showing that.
Oh.
Storage.
Yeah, it is labeled storage. Storage with a toilet?
This is not probably the best picture I could get you other rooms, but there's one picture of the existing house, so it's a little bit hard to tell from this picture, but better picture of the goal is for the architecture to mimic the house.
Is there a kitchen or eating area?
No. I don't recall from memory, but potentially, but I don't think that that's
It says it
necessary.
right on the plan.
Okay. That may not necessarily, if that's a problem, that may not necessarily be necessary. I know the main intent is for it to be a home, a spot where you can work from home.
Is this a fireplace?
It is, yep.
Storage would be just a closet in the closet.
Well, it has a sink and a toilet in the bathroom. And a closet. And is this connected to the existing
No,
septic?
it's not. Oh.
The current garage, it will be, yeah, connected into the.
No,
Do you know
not
where
the
the
one you want to
septic is?
build.
Yes, this will be having to be connected.
Where is the septic?
The septic system is located somewhere in here.
Alright.
We have foiled it with the county. They don't have anything on record for it. I believe the well is over here.
Okay.
So, but the septic is definitely somewhere in here.
The owner is an attorney,
Correct.
but is he gonna have clients come?
No. No, there's no intent of having any clients there.
Does he have another office someplace else?
He does in the city.
Oh,
Yeah.
So is this a weekend house or?
Currently, it's being used that they do have some younger children that they're hoping to move up here more longer term, but that's the current uses as a weekend home.
Because I'm just looking at the home occupation statute in our code. And some home occupations are permitted as of right, but I don't see attorney on here. You can do dentist, architectural, physician even, but I don't see an attorney. So there's a possibility you may have to go to the planning board for site plan approval.
May I jump in for a second?
Yeah, go ahead,
The-
Alice.
The definition of a home occupation, I believe it requires financial gain. Which results in a product or service for financial gain. So the board can consider whether having that office on site, I mean, if you're an attorney and you're doing attorney work, you can make financial gain, but I could see there being a distinction between having an office where clients come in and having an office where you do work.
Right.
So that could go either way depending on how the board views it.
I mean, for his sake, he's not necessarily. They're not necessarily needing it to be labeled as an office. If it's more helpful that it's labeled as a library or whatever type of terminology that it's easier to accept from the town's perspective. They're fine with that.
You're close to the line, only about 11 feet here.
Correct.
Any thought of moving it over closer to the house to
It's
reduce?
just it's more of how it lines up. The architect felt like it was a better layout for it.
The driveway's existing.
Correct.
And to see where that septic is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it isn't the Hitchcock surrounding you
It
everywhere?
is, yeah, that's what's over here.
Yeah, so I don't think.
Okay.
That is, I can see where.
Right. What we're gonna have to do is, you were on for last month and it was publicized for a public hearing
Sure.
last month. But our attorneys advised us that we have to republish this for another public hearing for next month. So I'm gonna have to have you come back in June.
Okay.
In the meantime, we can investigate the home occupation question. Is there anybody here that may have any, it's not a public hearing, but does anybody here have any questions or comments about this? Ma'am,
You answered some of them about.
Yeah. Could you state your name and your address, please?
It's Kathleen Derringer, and I live across the street
Sure.
at 331 Valley.
Okay.
Across Valley Farm? Okay.
331. That was actually part of the original property that I.
Okay.
It was a big barn, milking barn.
Yes.
So my only question, well, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So the excavation that you're doing, any upset the water flow in that area to my property? I only mention this is because the previous owners, the Clark Millers, I know they had to put in another well,
Sure.
and I guess that's a big concern for me, especially if you're having another bathroom, but it sounds like they're not going to be using it on a regular basis.
Yes. Yep.
And the bar, it's not gonna be there.
Correct.
So that,
Yeah, it's not gonna be a residence.
right, so you're not putting in another well or another septic.
No, that's not the intent.
Well, those were my biggest issue, but the erosion, is there gonna be any erosion issues that I should be aware of?
There shouldn't be, and I don't think any, in terms of material, the grading should stay very similar to what's here.
Relatively flat there.
Yeah.
Well,
it is.
yeah, what's your foundation?
So it'll just be a frost wall with a slab. Yeah. So most likely the material that excavated out of for the building will be trucked off-site. Just because there'll be no other place to put it.
Well, that's another good point, since there's no space.
Sure.
And I know you have big equipment, and
Sure.
seeing it up and down the road.
Sure.
Well, I know this sounds awful to say, but since I went through it with previous owners throwing debris over the fence into their trucks on my property, I'd like to make sure that that's in the record.
You own the red barn,
Yeah,
right?
That's over
Right, yeah,
here.
right, right.
Yeah. So the project, I can assure you that we don't put equipment or dirt or anybody on other people's property.
Looks like you have ample room to do everything
Sure.
within bounds.
And I think in reality, the trucks are gonna back right in here, it's gonna excavate it out, and in terms of the excavation part of it, it's gonna be probably pretty minimal and hopefully a fairly quick operation, so it should be pretty.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were digging it down, but it sounds like.
You have to dig down for the frost walls, but it gets filled back in, so it's basically on. No, thank you. Yep. No, all valid concerns.
Matt, did you have anything?
Well, it's not a public hearing, but just say what I was gonna say, and I'll come back next month.
Sure, you can.
I've lived on, this past January is my 50th year, living on Valley Farm. I've seen a lot of changes through the years, up and down the road. They just bought the house just past me, the old Marshall residence, and they're doing a lot of changes there. It's not affected me, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. All right, thanks for your comments. All right, does anybody else have any thoughts or questions at this point?
Yeah, well, everybody's done. I have my usual CAC questions.
Yeah, actually, our consultant has looked at that and they've determined that according to the town's natural resource inventory, no wetland permits are necessary.
Now, listening to the neighbors, anything with a storm with a fence, the erosion when you do construction, will they need something like that to be part of the plan?
Sure.
Nothing erodes or drainage, whatever, onto their property.
Typically, we do there'll be a detail in the building permit set of, your standard silt fence detail.
Oh, so it's taken care of.
So, yeah, that's all part of the building permit application and the building inspector will probably require some type of silt fencing.
Sure.
To prevent erosion control.
Some of you already on storage.
Guys, do you have any intention of putting like shower, washer and dryer?
It's not, they have no intention of using it as a living space. It's really just a spot where he wants to be able to kind of, for lack of a better term,
Get away.
man cave type of
Get away.
space. So, he's not, it doesn't have to be labeled office space, however the terminology You know, he's fine with it being called a library, however,
A recreation room for the
Recreate.
kids.
rec room, however, we need to turn.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. I'll take a look at the code closer. All right. Okay. Bye, Matt.
Bye, Matt.
All right, if nobody else has any other comments, I would make a motion that we adjourn this to the June meeting for a public hearing and ask that our secretary do the necessary work for the publication and notification to the neighbors. If you want to come back next month, you're free to do so, otherwise.
No,
we do
we
it at
heard,
comments.
yeah. No,
Okay.
Yeah, and you're always free to call our office if there's any concerns. Alright. I don't know if I do on you, I have one in the truck, but it's, if you just search Halton Construction.
Do I have a second to my motion?
I
a second, all right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right,
Awesome.
Thank you.
we'll see you in
So you
June.
don't want these other ones then?
No, we're gonna have to do it again. He'll have to do the mailing again.
You want it?
We'll take them and we'll take them.
They'll just duplicate that again.
This one was sent to their, well, I don't know if you need that one.
Oh,
The rest
all
was
right, thank you.
Thank you
Off
very much.
subject, is Tom Angel your brother?
Yes.
Tom Angel's my father.
Oh, okay. Retired public defender.
He is, yeah,
He's a good man.
yeah,
I've known Tom for about 35 years.
yeah,
He's a good guy.
still doing, he's still doing law, and he's practicing out of our office in Stanford.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So- Oh, yes, yeah, so,
Tell him Frank Reynolds said hi.
very good. Would you like a copy of this?
Yeah, could you leave that with us?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks.
All
We'll
right.
See you
we'll
next
talk to
time.
you soon.
I don't think there's any other business tonight. Otherwise, I make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
All in favor?
All right.
Carried.
Sorry, I second. Thank you.
Hey, did the applicant submit anything new today?
Now,
No.
Okay, thanks.
were you expecting something?
No, just at that last bit, I wasn't sure if the applicant was turning in something new, in which case I was gonna ask to be copied, but if it's nothing new, I don't need it.
It's a map that's identical to the package that you sent us.
Right.
It has
Okay.
the corrected setbacks on it.
Okay, great, thanks. Have a good night, everybody.
I got it.
Yeah.